Joining me now is to discuss this, plus how to fix it, is CEO of VETCOMM, Ms. Kate Monroe. Kate, welcome back to KUSI.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we throw around words like crisis pretty easily. How bad is the situation?
We do throw it around too easily, but there is imminent danger that faces our country because of this recruiting crisis. We called up all of our bench strength, so typically there's people staged to go in these delayed entry programs. We have had to call them up, and we're still missing our recruiting numbers. So we need to really wake up and stop doing all this woke nonsense, because it is a really huge put off to this next generation.
Well, that's my question to you. Why is this something a issue of money, or is this an issue of politics? And some of our leadership in the military positions seem to be more concerned about DEI than they are about defending the country.
And I would agree with that. You know, I was speaking to one of my closest friends. His son is 18, and 20 years ago, he absolutely would have enlisted. 20 years ago, he would have been a prime candidate. He's a Republican, conservative young man, really good values. And I said to him, I said, "Bud, how come you're not going into carrying on this Marine Corps legacy? You know, because you would have expected him to." He said, "What am I fighting for? I sometimes feel like we're our own enemy. Who are we even fighting? You know, who am I going to defend? I don't agree with their ideology. All I see on the news is all this woke nonsense in the military, and I don't want to be a part of that."
All right. Well, first of all, what is the number of what's our desired goal, not for recruiting, but just as of armed forces? Are we a million-person army? Are we a 2 million-person army? What do we want to be at?
I don't know exactly what we want to be at, but I know that we're missing the mark in recruiting by 50,000.
50,000 every year.
50,000 every year, and it's only going to progressively get worse, because I think I wrote down some stats, and there's only 9% of young adults 16 to 21 who would even serve. 9%.
Because usually when something like that happens, you try to incentivize people with more money or better benefits. Is that a possible solution?
I do think that there could be more benefits, as I've said, you know, keeping people at a base longer. I'm working on congressional legislation right now that's actually about to be voted on that would let them use their GI Bill to start a business. This next generation's not looking toward college as much. They all want to be a CEO, so that entrepreneurial push could help them. I'm also working with Senator Ted Cruz on stopping sexual assault from happening in the military altogether. I put together a plan for him that we're working on. So those are the types of things that need to happen, because generations, you know, older like mine are telling young kids, you know, you may not be safe in the military.
But I think it's a problem, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a problem bigger than money and benefits, because a lot of people that serve, that's not their number one objective, is money and benefits. It's love of country. I mean, I might be Pollyannish about this, but I still believe that. Because I meet I live in a military town. I meet people and it seems to me that they really are driven by
patriotism.
Yeah. And are we damaging that by some of the politics, and how do you get that cancer out of our military right now?
Yeah, I don't think we're just damaging it. It's almost at the point where it's close to being irreversible. That's why I wanted to speak to this, because we've gotten so far away from the principles that our country was founded on. We've actually lessened the power and the efficacy of our military by turning it woke. It's a huge turnoff to this next generation. You know, if you look in 2001, 90% of people would have said they were proud to be an American. Today, 67%.
Well, that's a problem that's even bigger than the military.
Oh, it's huge. It's everywhere.
That's in society, isn't it?
Yeah, people don't want to be police. They don't want to serve and be nurses, fire, military, because they're thinking, what am I serving for? Who are these people I'm protecting that hate my values? That, you know, because there's a certain value set that goes along with being in the military, and the country's gotten very far away from that.
All right, so then how do you fix it, other than perhaps a change in the White House brings a change in military leadership? But I mean, we're talking about this problem didn't happen overnight, so it's going to take equally as long to fix it, will it not?
Well, this is a purposeful problem. We actually drove ourselves here on purpose, you know, through many different things that we have done, and it's got to be a top-down solution. You're absolutely correct. Whoever you vote for is going to have a lot to do with the ideology of the country. You know, I'll tell you this right now. I'm never going to be president, but I could tell you if I was, we would have the largest, best supported military that we have ever seen. Being a Marine Corps veteran, that's very important to me. I understand our stance in the world, and we got to get this fixed from the top down. So next time you go to the voting booth, you better be paying attention.
All right, I'm going to give you the Harry Potter wand. Wave it a little bit. Name names. Is Millie out then, or what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that he's not doing anything to help us. You know, actually, over the last 8 years or so, you saw the military leaders actually take a stand against their own president. And that is not something that you do in the military. You know, there is a chain of command that you are supposed to follow.
He is the commander-in-chief, isn't he?
Well, but I mean, you really have to take a look at your rank in the military and understand that you fall below the president and not above the president. And you need to be mindful of that, because that sends a signal all the way down to the bottom that there's basically also lawlessness in the military, and we don't even have to listen to the president of the United States.
So is our standing in the world, as far as being the preeminent military power, is that wobbly?
It's very wobbly. You know, our withdrawal from Afghanistan did us no favors at all, not only in the world's eyes, but in our own country's eyes. That was a huge debacle. You know, China right now, I don't know if anyone's paying attention, but they have the largest military, and they're picking up speed. While we are retracting our military, they are picking up speed.
If I could argue back just a little bit, though, isn't our technology on display in the Ukraine, though, proving to be very effective?
It is very effective. Our technology is, but people have to wield that technology on our behalf. You know, we've sent it over there for them to use, which I don't know if that's really our best move either. You know, we do need to retain some of our power and might to ourselves here in this country.
I wish you a very poignant and meaningful July 4th, and I appreciate you making time coming into the studio. It just shows what a class act you are.
Love to be here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.